Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Lapointe with the Center for Natural Law. In the book entitled Ethics, the Drama of the Moral Life, Matt Anderson and Peter Jaroszynski, they remind us that there are various kinds of priorities in life, sometimes referred to as human goods. When we act with purpose to achieve a goal, there are different priorities and there are different degrees of importance to these priorities. Values can be evaluated by their comparative importance to other values. These two authors explain to us that there are degrees in human goods within the circumstances of life. In other words, there is a hierarchy of the good. They explain to us, and I quote, "We said that everything that appears before us as an object of desire or action is a good. We also know that different things are not one and the same good. Exercise, art, learning are different types of goods. We are faced with the question of whether these goods are radically different from each other, completely separate and autonomous, or whether they are somehow connected. Does each of these goods have its own proper place in a larger order and hierarchy? If there were no connection between them, then it would not matter what man desired or chose. The whole problem of morality would vanish. However, we do not need to consider the question very long before we see that there are connections between various goods, and the goods are arranged in a hierarchy. If I'm hungry, I must find food. To get food, I go to the store. For that, I need money. Here, many actions and their corresponding objects form a whole, governed by a single good or leading purpose. This good is not the act of purchasing itself or even eating, but it is a desire to preserve my life. The other goods are merely goods as means to this end. Our lives do not consist only in staying alive. We like to occupy ourselves with greater variety of activities, and these may take the form of work or recreation. One person dedicates his life to science, another cultivates the earth, another writes stories, and another manages a company. In each of these domains, we find complex activities ordered to some purpose. The purpose may be to discover new truths, cultivate better crops, create works of art, or maximize profits. At the same time, none of these occupations stand alone. Apart from his career or occupation, man seeks enough to eat, to start a family, and to put a roof over his head. He makes friends with whom he will spend his free time pleasantly. Each man organizes all these things for his own sake. While each of these spheres of human life has its own specific end, is there still one end to which all others will be ordered? There is one source of action, and that is man himself. It is man who cultivates the earth, studies, and writes. But to what purpose? The fact that man performs various activities show that man is a potential being. That is, man does not possess that which he desires, and he acts in order to acquire certain perfections and skills. In this case, man is not merely the source of action, but also the purpose. He makes a discovery. It is not so that he can lock it in his desk, but so that he may live in the light of truth. If he tills the earth, it is to provide himself and his family with the means of life. If he makes something beautiful, it is so that people may admire it." End quote. This is another reason why ideologies are so destructive, because ideologies give unremitting and undue priority to a single value, all to the exclusion of other important values and considerations. Ideologies are a form of theoretical tunnel vision, also called a pipe dream. The natural law reminds us that the goals and purposes we pursue must be balanced and must take all factors into consideration. Thank you for joining me today. See you next time.